Good morning, class. Today we are going to learn about India, its size and location. I am Miss Khyati Dwarkadas, your geography teacher. So this is the globe, and as you can see, the globe rests on its axis. The axis is the imaginary line that passes through the globe, connecting the North Pole to the South Pole. This is the location of India on the globe. So if you can locate India on the globe, you're one of the best patriots our nation has. That's Kashmir, one of the most beautiful places in India and the highest point that India has in its land. Now today we are going to learn about the latitudes and longitudes on the globe. If you notice, all lines that run parallel to each other, these lines that run parallel to each other, they do not meet at any point in time on the globe, are called latitudes. I'm going to show you the latitudes. They run parallel to each other. Do you notice this red line coming up? The red dotted line? These are your latitudes. In Hindi, there is a word called Letna. Letna, latitude. Letna, latitude. And they are sleeping lines. Whereas longitudes are long lines. You see them? They are the long lines. They connect the North Pole to the South Pole. Now I'm going to show you the North Pole. That's right here. If you can see, and somewhere below it exactly would be the South Pole. Now the place where the latitudes and longitudes intersect each other, they cut across each other, they meet each other, is going to be the place from where, the point from where you can locate a place. You can pinpoint the exact location of a place. So when you have a series of latitudes and longitudes, which are all imaginary lines drawn on a globe, they are called a grid. They form a grid. Now, if you look at this, I have a set of latitudes drawn on this image. So before we move to that, we just know that latitudes are lines that run in the east-west direction, but they measure north or south of the equator, splitting the earth into the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So this is our 0 degrees latitudes. 0 degree latitude is your equator. And all the latitudes are measured either north of the equator. So you can see the 10, 20, 30, 40 and so on north of the equator, or 10 degrees south, 20 degrees south, 30 degrees south of the equator. Latitudes are always measured north or south of the equator, but they run in the east-west direction. So if you can spot the lines, you can see the latitudes run in the east-west direction. Let me remind you, they are parallel lines. They do not meet each other at all. Once again, the diagram tells us there is an equator in the center of the earth, which is your 0-degree latitude. The lines of latitude are numbered from 0 degrees at the equator to 90 degrees north at the North Pole, and 0 degrees equator to 90 degrees south at the South Pole. So somewhere here would be your North Pole, where we say is your 90-degree north, and exactly below that would be your South Pole, 90 degrees south. Latitudes, once again, the equator is 0 degree. It is neither north nor south, therefore it is the center between the north and south. Just as 40 degrees north is 40-degree line of latitude north of the equator, 40 degrees south is the 40-degree line south of the equator. Similarly, 23.5 degrees north would make the Tropic of Cancer. 23.5 degrees south would make the Tropic of Capricorn. Now these longitudes, you notice these are, the main one is your standing line, the meridian, the 0-degree longitude or the prime meridian. And all the others are longitudes measured east or west of the prime meridian. So longitude, you can see the prime meridian standing in the center at 0-degree longitude. Lines of longitude begin at the prime meridian. 60 degrees west is the line of longitude west of the prime meridian. 60-degree east is the 60-degree line of longitude east of the prime meridian. The prime meridian itself is located at 0-degree longitude. It is neither east nor west. And as I always told you, lines of longitude are numbered east or west from the prime meridian to 180 degrees, just as latitudes were numbered at an angular distance of 90 degrees north or south of the equator. Longitudes are numbered to 180 degrees from the prime meridian, either east or west. So the prime meridian and the 180-degree line split the earth into the western hemisphere and the eastern hemisphere. And you can see the prime meridian there, where it is dividing the earth into the west and the east. So if you were living in Saudi Arabia, you would be in the eastern hemisphere. But had you been living in the US, you would be living in the western hemisphere. Once again, we look at the important latitudes on the globe. 0 degrees equator to 23.5 degrees north and south is your torrid zone. 23.5 degrees north, Tropic of Cancer, to 66.5 degrees north latitude, the Arctic Circle, is your temperate zone. And 66.5 degrees north to 90 degrees north, the North Pole, is your frigid zone. Similarly, 23.5 degrees south to 66.5 degrees south of the equator is your temperate zone touching the Antarctic Circle from the Tropic of Capricorn. The Antarctic Circle to the South Pole, that means 66.5 degrees south to 90 degrees south, is your frigid zone. Look at the diagram carefully. Take your time to understand it. Now, on this beautiful, colorful globe, we can see the equator, the 0-degree latitude marked in yellow, and the Tropic of Cancer marked at 23 degrees 30 minutes north of the equator. And the beautiful, colorful land located with the political boundaries of all the states is our India. This diagram reinforces all the major lines of latitude that we have learned. In the northern hemisphere, first we have the 0-degree equator, which divides the earth into the northern and southern hemispheres. So from the equator, you move to the northern hemisphere. You have the Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees north, which is right here. At 66.5 degrees north, you have the Arctic Circle, and at 90 degrees north, you have the North Pole. At 23.5 degrees south of the equator, you have the Tropic of Capricorn. At 66.5 degrees south of the equator, you have the Antarctic Circle, and at 90 degrees south, we have the South Pole. When you look at the longitudes, you can now see that you have the 0 degrees prime meridian, which divides the globe into the eastern and western hemisphere. You have places or the meridians of longitude located east or west of the prime meridian. The international dateline is an imaginary and arbitrary line on the Earth's surface that runs from the North Pole to the South Pole. When you cross the international dateline, the day and date change. If you cross it traveling westward, the day goes forward by 1 and the date increases by 1. If you cross it traveling eastward, the opposite occurs. The international dateline is not a matter of international law, but it's one of the few standards embraced globally. It is crucial for global interconnectivity, instantaneous communication, time measurement, and consistent international database. It's mostly about convenience, commerce, and politics. The international dateline happened much for the same reasons as the emergence of the internet. It works and makes life a little bit easier. So if you understand the latitude and the longitude which you've seen in the previous slides, you will be able to understand the international dateline a bit better. So by the later part of the 19th century, scientists had realized that we needed time zones, and 24 such time zones were created. And there was this Scottish engineer, Sandford Fleming, in 1876. He helped design the Canadian railway network. But it was only by the 1900s that nation by nation sought into his idea and decided to use the international dateline with 24 time zones. Most time zones do not precisely follow meridians of longitude. They zigzag as needed to keep islands and smaller countries and large metropolitan areas on the same clock time. An obvious concession to convenience. So you can see even at the international dateline there is a zigzag. So in the eastern hemisphere, there are 180 degrees of longitude, and in the western hemisphere too, there are 180 degrees of longitude. So the total number of longitudes that we have are 360, and the earth takes 4 minutes to rotate from one longitude to another. So 360 degrees longitudes into 4 minutes is 1440 minutes. When you divide that by 60, you get 24 hours. In this way, the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. By combining latitude and longitude, as I told you earlier too, you can spot the location of any place. You can pinpoint the exact location at the intersection of latitudes and longitudes. So here's an application question for you. Which hemisphere would you find USA in? And if you look, the directions are given to you: north, south, east and west. So if you were to see, North America or USA will be in the northwestern hemisphere, because it is in the northern hemisphere, north of the equator, and it is west of the prime meridian. That is India. Which hemisphere would you find India in? The northeast hemisphere. So coming to the location of India, we know that India is located at 8 degrees 4 minutes north of the equator. So if you're going to be a bit careful, I'll show you. India is located at 8 degrees 4 minutes north of the equator, and its northern extent is at 37 degrees 6 minutes north of the equator. The westernmost extent of India is at 68 degrees 7 minutes east of the prime meridian, whereas the easternmost extent of India is at 97 degrees 25 minutes east of the prime meridian. The 82.5 degrees east, or the Indian Standard Time, or the Standard Meridian of India, passes through Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh, and that is known as your Indian Standard Time. At 23.5 degrees north, which you can see, the Tropic of Cancer passes through almost the center of India. Now on this outline political map of India, you can see that from north to south, India is 3214 kilometers long, and in the east-west direction, it is 2933 kilometers long. So the size of India, the landmass of India has an area of 3.28 million square kilometers, and India's total area accounts for about 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world. The area of total 510.072 million square kilometers land. Out of that, 148.94 million square kilometers water, 361.132 million square kilometers. So note, 70.9% of the world's surface is water, 29.1% is land. And out of the entire landmass of the world, only 2.4% of the total geographical area belongs to India. You can see the red part of the cake, that is India, and the green part is the rest of the world. India is the 7th largest country, the largest being Russia, Canada, USA, China, Brazil, Australia, followed by India. So the land boundary of India is 15,200 kilometers, whereas India has a very long coastline of 7516.6 kilometers. And we will deal with the advantages of having a long coastline at a later stage. As you can see here, in the Arabian Sea to the west of India are situated the Lakshadweep Islands in the southwestern direction, whereas to the east of India in the Bay of Bengal are situated the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the southeastern direction. The 22 degrees north latitude shown to you in the middle of the map also depicts that it is from here in the northern and southern direction that the Indian landmass begins to taper or reduce in size. That means at this 22 degrees north latitude, India is very, very broad. But as you go northwards, India begins to taper, make a peak formation. And as you go southwards, also India begins to taper. Now the world rotates or spins at 360 degrees in 24 hours. So it is 360 degrees divided by 24 hours, which is 15 degrees per hour. And the world, as I told you earlier, has 24 time zones. Each is 15 degrees apart. So there is a 1 hour time difference for every 15 degree of longitude. And there's another cheesy saying, East increase, West less. East increase means time is forward to all places to the east. West less, time is backward to all places to the west. Now if it is 9 p.m. at position D, there are a few positions marked on this world map. If it is 9 p.m. at position D, what is it at position C and at position B? And if it is 1 p.m. at position X, at which location is the time 5 p.m.? You can copy the question and try and resolve it. If you're smart, it will take you less than a minute to locate the answer. If it is 9 p.m. at position D, what time is it at position C and at position B? If it is 1 p.m. at position X, at which location is it 5 p.m.? Two more important questions for you. Why has 82 degrees 30 minutes east been selected as the standard meridian of India? Why has 82 degrees 30 minutes east been selected as the standard meridian of India? And another question, why is there a time lag or a time difference of 2 hours between Gujarat and Arunachal Pradesh? Why is there a time lag or time difference of 2 hours between Gujarat and Arunachal Pradesh? Before we leave and meet in another session, I'd like you to follow this link. I'd like you to follow this link at YouTube, and there'll be this lovely karaoke which you can play and listen. It's a nice latitude and longitude song, and when we meet again after sometime in our next lesson. I would expect you to have learnt this song well enough to sing it loud to me. Until we meet again, goodbye. Thank you.